Change. The word alone can be challenging. How do we get started? Where will the change lead? Don't sit there and worry about it. Be the change. Welcome to Be the Change Radio. Host Kristina Bloom has been a professional psychic and spiritual advisor for 20 years, offering psychic and mediumship readings for individuals and groups. She also teaches several classes in psychic development and metaphysics. In addition, she is an author who has published 2 books so far and is the co-owner of Moonbow Publications and Productions, LLC. Are you ready for that change now? Here is your host of Be the Change Radio, Kristina Bloom.
Hey everybody, welcome to Be the Change Radio on WLTK-DB.com, Paranormal Talk Radio. I'm your host, Kristina Bloom, and I am so excited to have you here today. I am my own guest tonight. So we're going to be talking about manifesting, why it doesn't work. We're going to expand more, not only on the law of attraction, but the other 11 universal laws that go along with it. There's a lot more to it, I think, than what we've been led to believe. It's, so I'm going to really get into some details about that tonight, because I know I have been talking to so many people who are just struggling to get what they want to get in life. And so I think it's really important to really talk about how that actually works, especially since right now we are in the fastest expansion of the universe, of the planet, of humanity that is even in our history as humans. So there's a lot really going on in the universe, and how can you take advantage of that? But before we get to that, I've got some really big announcements here. Okay, let's talk about this radio station. Man, it is blowing up all over the internet. So many new shows. I couldn't even write them all down because I'm using a small piece of paper. It just didn't fit. So go to the website. Hi, Nikki. Thanks for being here. Just go to the WLTK-DB.com website, and you can look at all the new shows there, the ones that are already started. Like we have Moment to Moment with Linda. She's amazing. I just love Linda. And we have so many new shows that are starting soon. Some surprises coming up too that I'm not going to tell you about just yet, but we have some really great stuff going on at the radio station, and you should really go check out all those shows. We are really working the station owner. We're working him hard. He's got a lot going on. So just really check it out. There is so much cool stuff there. And while you're there, check out the new store. Hi, Jessica. Thanks for being here. There's a store you can get like really cool WLTK-DB merchandise. And I went in and looked at the store today. And in addition to, your standard stuff, t-shirts and sweatshirts and coffee cups and water bottles. I mean, there's wall hangings. Wow, I should have written all of this down. There's like a desk pad. There's so much stuff I never even thought of. Backpacks, all kinds of really cool stuff. So you should go check that out in the store at WLTK-DB.com/shop. So that is all in there. And as far as my events go, we're getting close to the end of August, and I'm kind of choking on those words. I don't know where the rest of August went. I just got back from 2 amazing events in northern Wisconsin, and I'm headed to another one next week. But first, on Saturday night in my own area, Port Washington, Wisconsin, we are having on Saturday night at 7 p.m. a drum circle and healing ceremony. We had one last month. It was highly requested that we do another one. This is a family event. Please feel free to bring the kids. It's $35 for adults, but your kids come for free. So bring drums, bring noisemakers, bring whatever you want to bring. This is a real celebration of life and the planet. We will do another water healing ceremony. to bless the water, and because water equates so much with emotion, and there's still a lot of emotional turmoil going on this planet. So we want to make sure that we do as much healing for that as possible and as much positive energy to that as possible. So that is next Saturday, the 27th. And again, it's at South Beach in Port Washington, Wisconsin. That event is on my meetup page. That's meetup.com/one spirit connection, one ONE. That is on there. And you can just go right to the calendar, go to that date, click on the event, and it gives you all of the details on how to register right there. So on the 28th, I will be in Holman, Wisconsin. I want to make sure I get this. Refined Divine is hosting a holistic healing and psychic fair at the Holman Community Center. That's near La Crosse, Wisconsin. For those of you who don't know, that's on the western side of the state. And that's from 10 to 4 on Saturday, the 28th. I will be there offering readings live and in person. So feel free to come on by. Again, I'll be doing readings, but there are so many other cool vendors. This is such an amazing community that we've got going here in Wisconsin. Just everyone just kind of pulls together and really just puts out some great energy for healing. And it's just going to be a great event. And then on Friday, September 16th, because I have a lot of personal stuff going on in the first half of September, so a lot of my events are picking up in the second half, I will be doing a Zoom class on Zoom at 7:30 Central, and it will be on Spirit Guides Introduction and Relationship Building. So you'll get introduced to your spirit guides, and then we will go through some exercises and ideas on how to connect with your spirit guides when you're not in the class, and be able to get that guidance when you're on your own and every day, and where you can learn how to connect with your spirit guides for everyday stuff. No, the drum circle events, Nikki, will not be virtually broadcast, just because I'm going to be on a beach without any internet. Unfortunately, that part of Port Washington, I can't even get a text message out of there, much less a broadcast. I wish I could, because that would be great. Next summer, when the warmer weather comes around again, I will try to find a location where I can broadcast from, because I think that would be a great thing to do. I wish I could. Or, you could just hop a plane and I'll pick you up at the airport in Milwaukee. We could do that. Okay. All right. Enough of my silliness. But I'm really excited about all of these events, and that Zoom class is going to be great. Also, I have created an easier way for you to make an appointment with me to get a private reading, or to set up a gallery reading for your friends and family, or anything like that. So the new website, or the new email is psychickristina67@gmail.com. That is going to be the official, that's where I'm going to go to find where people made appointments. So if you want to make an appointment with me and you just want to get straight to me without a bunch of messing around, I made that website because I keep losing stuff in my other, made the email because I keep losing stuff in my other email, because it's just overwhelming. So you can go there to make that appointment. Thanks, Nikki. I was hoping that made sense. People keep trying to message me on my Facebook pages. Let me see if this is what this is here. Okay, that's something I can answer later. Okay, I thought maybe it was someone who couldn't get into the chat that was asking a question. So again, today we are going to be talking about manifesting. And manifesting is something I think that most people think about money, like I need to manifest more money. First of all, and I'll get deeper into this, but I just hit this trigger here. But if you're in a state of need, the universe is going to respond with more need. And that is something I think that we really have trouble wrapping our heads around. Okay. It's so hard to explain sometimes, but in order to get what you want, you have to vibrate with what you want. And it also has to be a gratitude and appreciation and all of that. Cool, Nikki. Yeah. If you come out here, I will be so happy. You won't even know. It's crazy. All right. So I'm kind of giving you a sneak peek at my next book. And we're going to be talking about in this book, spiritual ascension symptoms and all of that kind of stuff. But we're also talking about manifestation and why we fall flat on manifestation. And a lot of it is, again, because of the way that we're thinking or feeling, and our vibration isn't matching where we want to go. It also happens, our manifestations also fall flat if we are inconsistent. Okay. And that, by inconsistent, I mean, saying, let's say on this location, and at this you're wanting to move somewhere else, so you have two conflicting energies and the universe doesn't respond, probably to both, but not one more than the other. So that manifestation to work, because you have two different things going that are kind of working against each other. And it doesn't mean you can't have both, but sometimes you can't have both at the same time because it just doesn't work out logistically. Okay, so acknowledgement of the ways that we get in our own way gives us more clarity, allowing us to move and in some cases heal the feeling and thought patterns stopping our manifestations. We tend to get stuck in old belief patterns. And I think that this is a very, very human thing. We all tend to do it. We just somehow get stuck in our belief systems. And oh, my internet is lagging. It doesn't look like it's lagging. Let me see. If you're having difficulty with this, just let me know. I know Todd just let me know that it's lagging. It looks like I have like full internet. I don't know what's happening here. What's happening is spectrum is going away. That's what's going to happen. All right. I hope that you guys can hear me. I hope that this is working. I'd really like it to be working for you because this is such important stuff. So let's see. The way that we speak, I think, is another thing that really gets us. It is delayed. Okay. Thank you, Capri. Shoot. I'm going to keep going, and I'm hoping that it works out in the replay because I don't know what else to do with it. Let me see if I can do this with it real quick. Let's see, settings. Okay. Okay. I turned on my hotspot, and hopefully that will help with that. I hope. So I wanted to get back to this, and I lost my place here. Oh, the words that we use. The words that we use are very important because I used to hear people say a lot that the universe doesn't hear don't, and I finally figured out what that means. And what that means primarily is that when we say I don't want something, your focus is on the something that you don't want. So where your focus goes is what you're going to manifest. And whether you want it or not, it's where your focus is. It's also where your energy is, because if you're focused on what you don't want, then you're focused into a negative energy. So it's better to change that language and go into being focused on what you do want. It's okay now. Okay. All right. Well, this is always an adventure, isn't it? Adding the hotspot worked apparently. So good news. I love that. So focusing on the words that you're using and making sure that the words that you're using are promoting and supporting what you're trying to manifest, regardless if that's better health, more money, whatever it is, better relationships, a better relationship with yourself, peace in your life, your intuitive abilities, psychic abilities, whatever it is, make sure that your thought process and your words are supporting where you want to go. So that is a really key thing. Is let's talk about those words. Semantics is really, and the universe is very, very literal, sorry, not little, literal. And if we say I want, we are left in a state of wanting. And it's really kind of a strange thing that way. But, I remember when my son was like 3, my oldest son, he was about 3 years old. And he went to the store with his dad and he kept saying, I want that, and I want that, and I want that. And his dad looked at him and said, how does it feel to want? Because that's where it leaves you. It leaves you in a place of wanting and not in a place of receiving. So if you are in a place of wanting, you can't really be in what Abraham would call a receptive mode to bring in the things that you want to have in your life. And I don't think I know anybody who doesn't want more peace, more joy, more relaxation, more fun in their lives. All of us are so busy working around trying to create what we want that we're not really taking the time to appreciate what we already have. And that's another key thing. If you don't already appreciate what you have, then you're not in a state of appreciation and you're not in a state of receiving. So those are really important things too, to remember that to be grateful for what you have, even if you want something else. So being grateful for what you have while working for what you want, or just having this overall general feeling of gratitude, will help you get where you want to be or help you get the things that you want in your life. And I just want to make sure. Oh yeah, let's apply this to health. Okay. If you have been, how can I clear a block from my heart that is stopping me from connecting to spirit? Okay, Caprice, I'm going to get back to that. I want to finish this thought so I don't get totally off track with it. Let's talk about health, because it's really important how people create difficulty in their lives. Once you've already been diagnosed with something, don't own it. Really, really super important. Do not own the disease. And by that, I mean, stop saying my anxiety, because you just claimed it. You just owned it. And I've caught myself doing the same thing. I've caught myself repeatedly doing the same thing. The more that you claim it, the more you're going to have it. Right. So, and I only used anxiety as an example. It can go for anything. I play with my doctor's office with this because I want to see how I'm doing with it sometimes. And so let's say I'm at a checkup, they're taking my blood pressure. And before they start, I ask them to give me a moment to just let me center and balance myself. And I visualize the numbers I want in my head. What do I want the top number to be? What do I want the bottom number to be? And every single time I come within three on either side of that number with my blood pressure, I focus on what I want. I don't worry about what I don't want. And it's a fun thing to do. I mean, so, next time you're getting your blood pressure taken, see if you can control it just with your thoughts and focusing positive thought on, this is how I want to feel. I want to feel great. I want to be healthy. And you know what? By claiming health, even if you have illnesses or have been diagnosed with illnesses, by claiming the health, you make yourself healthier. If you happen to have been diagnosed with an organ that is diseased, I don't know, let's take the heart or the lungs, right? So what I encourage people to do when they want to focus on healing those things is physical things. I'm not talking about the blocked chakra. I'm talking about like the physical heart. Look at a picture. And you can look it up online. I mean, if you're online listening to this, you have access to the internet probably. So you can look it up and just look at what a picture of a healthy human heart looks like. And then visualize your heart looking like that. And focus on your heart looking and functioning like that. And in that way, you are putting in positive energy towards your own healing. Now I'm going to jump over to the blocked chakra, okay? Because if you keep saying, I have a block in my heart chakra, I have a block in my root chakra, I have a block in this, you're reinforcing the block. Does that make sense? The more that you focus on the block, the more reinforced the block gets. I'm not saying that's what created the block, but I'm saying that's what keeps it there. So by to remove the block, you want to focus on a clear, flowing chakra. So I encourage you to focus on the chakra. The heart chakra is green. Focus on the color, or pink. Both apply because one's healing and one's love. So focus on that. Focus on it being clear and bright. And in doing that, you are more likely to release the block than you are if you're focusing on the block and trying to figure out what it is. One of the things that really keeps us stuck with, especially with chakras, is that we want to know. We want to know why it's blocked. We want to know what's blocking it. And by doing that, we're focusing on the block so much, we can't possibly release it. You know, you can release the block and then journal on it later and just ask, like, why was it there, keeping that in the past? You know, it's really important how we think about these things and the words that we tell ourselves. Super, super important. If you want the block to go away, focus on a healthy chakra. Focus on a free flowing energy. Focus on that, and that will help to release anything that's there. Okay. That is what is more likely to help you get healthier chakras and more flow and more love in your life, is to focus on the positive aspects and just set aside the what caused this. And that can just get us like going down some horrible rabbit hole. None of us really want to go down, but we do it so often. I just don't understand why we do it so often, but we do. And so focus on the free flowing energy, and you are more likely to create more energy to remove any kind of resistance that you have to where you want to be. All right, let's see. Okay, so like with the anxiety that I mentioned, if it does happen to flare it up, even if you're not claiming it, just say, I was diagnosed with anxiety. It will still be true, but without ownership of it. And the anxiety is flaring up, acknowledges it with a possible request for help without determining the severity of it. So you don't want to ever claim it as a really horrible, bad thing. Sometimes we just get stuck in all of that stuff. And, you know, there's a meditation in here that's going to be in my next book that I'm going to do at the end of the show. So stay tuned, because this is a really good one for linking your heart and your mind together, which is what we need to do a lot of times to help move us through some of the difficulties that we have created in our human lives. Let's see. Sometimes our manifestation doesn't happen because it's not good for us, and our spirit guides are stepping in on our behalf. Yeah, that's a tough one. Because sometimes we can want something really bad. And I've seen this happen numerous times with myself and with other people in regard to relationships, whether that's friendships, family, romantic relationships, whatever. We're so focused on what we want. And if it's not good for us, our spirit guides are probably going to step in and say, let's try to focus over here. Let's switch your focus. And, you know, if any of you are anything like me, that stubbornness, you're just going to keep wanting to go back to it and back to it and back to it. And so a lot of times it just won't manifest because our spirit guides are going, that's not good for you. Divine intervention, it could be spirit guides, angels, God, whatever it is that you want to believe in, intervening on our behalf to keep us from stepping into something that could really hurt us. Nikki says, I've had these moments where later in life, I'm so thankful I didn't get what I thought I wanted. Amen, sister. Oh my gosh. Yes, totally. I'm right there with you completely. Okay. So this isn't a complete list, and we all know it's not a complete list. You know, one of the things that okay. I wish I could see a show of hands on this one. How many people are like, I'm going to manifest winning the lottery? It's not that you can't. People do it all the time. People do it all the time. People are always winning a lottery or a lottery. But a lot of times there are so many people putting energy into the same thing that not everyone can have it all at the same time. So that's one of those things too. It's like usually when we're manifesting something, it's just something for us or for our families. And it's harder when there are a lot of people wanting the same one thing. So sometimes that can put a delay in it, or sometimes people who aren't ready for it don't get it, because if you're not ready to handle that amount of money, I guess I could say, then maybe, that's one of those things where divine intervention steps up and says, that's really not good for you. I don't think we're going to let you do that, because that could really wreck your life. And, we're not here to wreck our lives. We are here to experience life. We're here to play. We're here to understand that everything that we're creating in this life is within our power to create. So why don't we take a little more thought in creating what we want? And I think that that's something that we don't always do, is take a good look at the thoughts in those lives. Okay, I know I'm running through a lot of this really fast, and if I'm losing you, I'm sorry. Please listen to the replay. We're going to go through the 12 universal laws. And I know a lot of people know about the law of attraction. We've had The Secret. We've got Abraham Hicks. Go on YouTube and you can find, I don't know, I lost track of how many Abraham Hicks YouTubes there are, videos. And I've listened to a lot of them. And, it's a repetition of the same memory, or the same message. But sometimes we need that, because how many years did we feed ourselves the opposite message? I was just talking to a friend of mine about this morning, where I repeat these positive messages to myself because I spent 40 plus years feeding myself the exact opposite, negative messages, because that's the way my brain had been wired. And whether it was wired from childhood, whether it was wired just from living in society, it doesn't really matter, because it's up to us to change the wiring. It's up to us to rewire and record those messages that have been really keeping us from the full life that we want to live. So I'm going to go through kind of quickly the 12 universal laws. And again, law of attraction is number 7. So there are, 6 leading up to that. And I feel like so many people were given this information individually from the universe, that they've been given an order for a reason. So pay attention to that too. So the first one is the law of oneness. And it states that everything we do affects everyone and everything. And that is not just us. I mean, everyone is doing things. It affects the collective, the whole. And we're all composed of the same source energy. So as we're putting energy into this, we are affecting each other. And I'm going to jump a little bit ahead of this. And I believe me, when this book comes out, you will all know about it, because I will be shouting it from the rooftops. Jim Rohn has said, we are the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with. And this is how this law works. Because if you are spending your time with people who are happy and growing and challenging themselves and living in gratitude, you are more likely to be that way as well. If you're spending your time with people who complain and are always looking to blame somebody for something, you are very much more likely to have that attitude. So it's really important that we understand that who we spend our time with, and that can be online too. I mean, I see so many people complaining about social media and how horrible it is. I don't get those messages on my social media because I don't allow them. We can go in and set whatever settings we want to see the things that we want to see, by the groups that we join, by the friends that we have, and if you've got friends of friends who are posting horrible things, I mean, I have no problem blocking somebody I don't know. And if somebody that I do know is, coming up with all this negative stuff, I mean, my first inclination as a healer and a service person, sometimes I'll send them a private message and go, hey, are you okay? Do you want to talk about this? Because if it's out of their character, Maybe they just got in a funk. Maybe they got in with some mixed up energies, but it's really important to pay attention to the messages that you're receiving on a daily basis, regardless of where they're coming from. It could be at work, it could be at home, it could be online, it could be whatever. And just pay attention to those messages and how they're affecting your attitude and your thought process. So that is number 1, and it is the law of oneness. Number 2 is the law of vibration, and it says that everything is made of energy, to include people, thoughts, emotions, liquids, and solid objects. Everything. There are countless frequencies of energy, but it's all energy, and energy is in constant motion. The more solid something is, like my desk here, that's slower the energy is moving. I'm moving. I'm a faster energy. The air around me is moving. That's an even faster energy. So there's always, and everything is energy. There's just no way around that. Okay, so from a metaphysical and emotional mental perspective, the more light is perceived as positive, less light is perceived as negative. However, it's all energy. So when you're around somebody who seems to you to be very dark and very heavy and very, like, their energy is heavy, not that they're heavy, but their energy is heavy, it's because their energy is low and slow moving. And when you're around somebody who is low and slow moving, or when you're feeling low and slow moving, it's really difficult sometimes to just not judge that as bad. And I'm a really strong proponent of not using judgment words, good and bad, evil, not evil, or evil and love. I don't even like the word evil. I think it's weird. But focusing on, okay, if my energy is dark and slow, what can I do to get my energy moving faster? We'll talk about that when we come back from our break. Thanks for sticking with me.
This is Patty Negri.
Hi, I'm Pete Orbea.
Hi, this is Nicole Strickland.
My name is Hero.
My name is Sean Clem.
Hey everybody, Cleet Keith here, author of Ghost of Greystone Beverly Hills. I'm excited to invite you to the OC Paracon, which is going to be the first week in October.
Now that's just some of the people you're going to meet at Orange County Paracon. That would be Anaheim's first ever paranormal conference. I'm Henry, the organizer and also the host of Paranormal Perception, inviting you to meet those people that you just saw. You'll meet everybody, including some guests, some people that we haven't even announced on the website. It's going to be a surprise. Everything, info, tickets available on that website, ocparacon.com. Hope to see you to kick off our favorite time of the year in Anaheim at OC Paracon.
Take us with you on the go and download the new WLTK-DB mobile app. Search the App Store and Google Play under WLTK-DB Talk Radio. Download free today. The unexplained. It's all around us and usually supplies more questions than answers. You need answers. You need Cross Country Paranormal. Founded by Benjamin Young, CCP seeks to train, educate, and mentor anyone that has a passion for the paranormal. CCP is building a network of teams and investigations across the country, and all experience levels are welcome. Learn more about CCP on their website, ccpinvestigations.com, where you can find frequently asked questions, check out their equipment, follow their latest events, and of course, shop. Visit them now at ccpinvestigations.com. That's ccpinvestigations.com. Cross Country Paranormal. All are welcome. All are family.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Be the Change Radio. I'm your host, Kristina Bloom. It is 39 minutes past the hour, and Sherry has joined us. Sherry has some good information for us here. In TCM, evil means excess. And Sherry, if you could just remind me what TCM means, because I'm not wrapping my head around acronyms at the moment, but if you could just pop that in there for me, I'd really appreciate it. So I wanted to talk about how you can raise your energy when you're feeling heavy, when you're feeling dark, when you're feeling like you're not moving forward very well, getting into depression and that sort of thing. And first of all, take a look at what's happening around you in your life. If you're grieving, and believe me, there are so many people grieving right now, so many people leaving the planet and leaving grieving people behind. And just pay attention to, is there a good reason for you to just be able to feel that and move through it and let it go? Because denying it, traditional Chinese medicine, TCM. Thank you, Sherry. The grieving thing, let's get back to that for just a moment. But if you're going through grief, the best thing that you can do is to let it move through you and try not to hold on to it. I mean, of course, you're going to be feeling it, so you're going to be focused on it. But grief is a natural expression of love. And so just letting it move through you and allowing yourself just to feel sad, and that's okay. When that sadness turns into a very long time where your whole world becomes dark and it gets very deep and it gets very, you're in depression. And there are a lot of causes for depression, not just grief. So I'm not, believe me, we could do several shows just on that. But I want to talk about how to get your energy higher when you're feeling like your energy is really low. First of all, get some sleep. If you're not resting, you're going to be low energy. Drink water, hydration, and sleep. Two big, huge, helpful things to bring your energy up. Those are really helpful. Another thing that you can do is find something funny. There are so many different ways to stream everything these days. So if you can't find something funny to watch or a funny book to read, or if nothing else fails, there's this thing that people post every once in a while, and I used to know the name of the website, but it's where you can go and see where autocorrect has messed up just normal messages, and they're so funny. And believe me, if you can't laugh at that, you should probably call a therapist or something, because that is really, really, really funny stuff. So find something to talk to a friend. Find someone who's not going to meet you and stay in the darkness with you, but who could maybe meet you and help you come up from the darkness. And sometimes it just takes getting somebody on the phone who you can talk to about something other than what you're focused on that's keeping you heavy and your energy moving slow. Jessica says, that explains. I need sleep and water. Okay. Nikki, oh, wow, that's true. I'm going to remember that grief is a natural expression of love. That's what I try to do. That's Nikki again. I'll go on YouTube and watch stand-up comedy if I'm really down. It always helps. Yeah. Dry bar comedy is a really good one. I really like that because it's clips of different comedy shows, but it gives you something to laugh at. And if you can laugh, you can bring your energy up. And, or just go stargazing with a friend, because that always helps me. All right. The third one, I changed I found it as the law of action. I changed it to the law of inspired action. And that's where your energy goes to work. The thing is, if you're thinking, oh, Friends, okay, yeah, that's good. Jessica watches Friends. That's good too. The law of inspired action isn't just about taking some action, because if the action feels like drudgery, if the action feels like this is what I have to do and I hate it, that is not in any way, shape, or form going to get you where you're going. Okay. I had a very serious illness about 8 years ago, and I had a near-death experience with it. It was really, really traumatic. And when I had that, after I came out of that, I made a decision for my life. And my decision was, I will only do things from now on that bring me joy. That's it. I was already so deep in not taking care of myself. I wasn't enjoying life. I wasn't enjoying the breath of life. I wasn't enjoying the love around me because I was so focused on I have to get these things done that I actually caused myself to get very, very sick. And when I came out of that, when I am only doing things that bring me joy, my life changed, and my life changed dramatically. I became a much happier person. I became a much easier person to be around. Some of you knew me before that, and some of you knew me while I was going through that. And that was something that really changed my life. And does that mean that I don't do the things that I have to do that I might not like? I'm not real keen on doing marketing. I really don't like marketing, but marketing gets me where I want to go. So I find a way to be joyful in it, or I hire someone else to do it. Fortunately, I am now in a position to be able to do that. But find ways. Find ways to focus on the joy, or at least if you can't get from depression to joy, depression to joy, you know what? Maybe get from depression up to taking a deep breath. And that's another thing. I mean, sometimes just breathing, because do you know how shallow we all breathe? We are shallow breathers, people. I had to learn to deep breathe, and the illness was with my lungs. I had a very serious illness with my lungs, and I had surgery, so my lungs had scar tissue on them, and I have since then focused on deep breathing, and I can't even tell you what a difference that makes, because when you are breathing deeply, you are oxygenating your blood, you are oxygenating your body, and you automatically feel better when you breathe deeply. When you breathe shallow, you're not getting enough oxygen running through your system. And that is so important to be able to do that. All right, let's see. Inspired action. If you want to be a psychic, start a regular meditation routine. And you will find that you will learn how to enjoy meditation if you don't already. I personally love meditation. It is my time of day where I am just super, super happy with myself. If you want to be a better psychic, start clearing out your filters that skew your perceptions of things. And we all have filters that skew, I want to make sure I say that word right, skew our perceptions of things. So, it could be the religion that you were raised with. It could be the neighborhood that you were raised in. It could be your family. It could be school. It could be your job, whatever. Relationships, everything creates a filter or reinforces a filter you already have. Being really honest with ourselves about what our filters are can sometimes really enlighten us to why we're not getting what we want, whether that's to increase psychic ability, to have better health, to have a better cash flow, whatever it is. Check your filters, meditate, find out which filter is clogged. I want to clear that out. So you don't even need to know really what's clogging it, to be honest with you. Just like the block, in your chakra, you don't need to know what caused it. You just need to focus on the light and clear it out. So clearing out those filters and getting really honest with yourself will get you a whole lot further to manifesting what you want to have, regardless of what that is. All right. Ooh, the law of correspondence reminds us that whatever is going on in our headspace and heart space is what we will see manifest in our lives. We really do create the value and circumstance of our lives, which is why we've been hearing so much about keeping thoughts positive for decades now. What you think, you become. What you think, you feel. Feeling and thought inextricably linked. You can't separate them. They influence back and forth, feeling and thought back and forth all the time. So if you're thinking negative thoughts, you're going to feel negative. If you're thinking positive thoughts, you are more likely to feel positive, both ways. Now, anybody ever wake up in the morning and you're just crabby? You don't even know why. You just woke up mad at the world, just mad. Now, in that moment, you have a choice. Are you going to say, I don't like the way this feels? I'm going to do something to raise my vibration. I'm going to focus on something I'm not mad about. I'm going to completely focus on something that I feel good about and let that energy move through and wash that out. The other option is that you can look for more things to be mad about to justify the anger that you woke up with. Okay. Those are your two choices in that moment. So there's a pause when you wake up in the morning where it might only be a fraction of a second, but that gives you enough time to go, how am I going to deal with this? How am I going to take this feeling and either change it or deep dive into it? And I really don't like that deep dive. I mean, if you do, feel free to go for it, but I don't like that deep dive. I would rather find something to feel good about. So I focus on things to feel good about. And for me, this is something that just brings me so much joy. I have a video on my phone of my grandson laughing. If I am upset about anything, man, I pull up that video and I watch it. It's gone in seconds, because that joy, that just unbelievable joy coming out of that child, just, wow, that's it. That is what really brings it up for me. You know what? I thought an hour was going to be too long. I might not even get through all this. The law of cause and effect. Karma. Sometimes you can see it working quickly. Sometimes it takes lifetime, but it always works. Every action eventually has a reaction. The universe is neutral. Did you know that? The universe is neutral. It doesn't judge. It doesn't care one way or the other what you're doing. It has no judgment. The effect is a natural consequence of the cause. The universal law is easy to recognize with specific behaviors. When a specific behavior creates a specific consequence, like when you're driving too fast, you get a speeding ticket, something really obvious like that. So as you're paying attention to cause and effect, the cause is, oh, thank you, Pamela. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The gratitude meditation. Yeah, Pamela just says that when she wakes up with anxiety, she does a 15-minute gratitude meditation. That is perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, so sorry, I got distracted again. Law of cause and effect. So losing weight, just as an example, okay, there are so many people like, oh, I need to take off 5 pounds, 10 pounds, whatever. If I've been eating junk food for 20 years, that's the cause. I'm very likely to be overweight and or unhealthy. That's the effect. Eating healthy food once isn't going to give me the desired weight loss. Darn it. Darn it, darn it, darn it. Thank you, Pamela. She says she's loving the show. I am loving doing this because this is such important information. Okay. The law of compensation is similar to the law of cause and effect, but it's focused on the abundance factor, blessings and abundance. The effort you put out in energy, kindness, or service is returned in abundance in some form. Sometimes that's money. Sometimes it's a trade. Sometimes it's something else. Sometimes it's a hug. It really, it just really depends. But there has to be a compensation, because this is a really key thing. So if I am just giving, and someone else is just taking, neither one of us are actually benefiting from that, because there's no exchange of energy. Energy is only going one way. In order for energy to be effective, it has to go both ways. There has to be an exchange of energy. And again, it doesn't always have to be financial, but there has to be an exchange of some sort. And that exchange has to be agreeable to both parties. That's the other thing to remember. Has to be agreeable to both parties. All right, let's see. The law of attraction. We finally got to the law of attraction. All right. So everywhere I look, I see book clubs for law of attraction, online and in person. It's such an amazingly popular concept. A quick Google search of law of attraction, and this was like a year ago, within 0.98 seconds brought up 357 million websites on law of attraction. Very few of those brought up the universal laws. Okay, so I did that search as well, and in 0.65 seconds, there were 147 million results, which is still a lot, but not nearly as much as just the law of attraction. So it's very popular. the premise is to attract people and things into our lives with the energy that we put out. But it's more than just the conscious energy that we put out. Excuse me, I'm getting kind of dry here. It's more than just the conscious energy that we put out. It's the energy that leaks from us. You know, we all have energy. We are energy. We have this energy field around us. And I know that every single one of you can think of an example of this as I say this, but we've all met somebody who is just like super excited, super positive energy, and you can just feel underneath it that it's not genuine. And if it's not genuine and there's negative under there, or there's an ulterior motive, which always feels kind of icky, that energy comes through to me stronger than the outward positive, right? And it is so important to be just genuine and authentic in our dealings, and also in our thoughts and in our feelings. And well, Nikki says she knows someone like that, but nobody else sees it. Eventually, everyone will see it. I promise you that. Nobody can hide that forever. It just comes out. It just becomes really obvious. So the law of attraction, there is so much on that. I mean, I could do a whole show just on that, but it's really about finding your peace, finding or creating your peace, and just being in your own energy and being at peace with it, and being the higher that you can, the better you can feel, the higher your energy goes, and the more that you create receiving what you want to receive. Okay, this next one gets a little weird, but it's the law of perpetual transmutation of energy. Yeah, sounds like a stereo manual there. It tells us that we have the power to change the circumstances and energy of our lives simply by choosing to do so. Okay, does that mean that, you know, I want to... So let's say I want to move out of the home that I'm living in now, and I want to have a cabin on a stream in the mountains. Okay. Okay, well, I already made the decision. I want that. Does that mean that just making that decision, boom, it appears? Because that would be chaos. I mean, if you think about everything that you ever wanted, if you think about it, oh, I want that, and it just appears. First of all, where are you going to put all that stuff? And second of all, did you really want all that stuff? Or did you just want it in the moment? So this law makes us stop and think about what we're manifesting. Why do we want to manifest that thing? And how important is it for us to do it? So, you know, this one kind of makes us take a step back and go, all right, I can change my life, and I can choose to have anything in my life that I want to have. But I really want to stop and think about, what do I want to have? Because again, I mean, if everything that you ever wanted just appeared, good luck cleaning up that mess. That would be messy. Okay. So the law of relativity, that's number 9, says that the way that you look at something determines the way that you see that thing or person. The observer affects the observed. This is really interesting too, because if it reminds us that if you understand a circumstance or a person as being bad or good, that's the way you will experience it. It's all in how you perceive it. So that is a really important one too. How am I perceiving things? How am I looking at things and the relativity of things? And I'm not going into deep stuff here because I'm almost out of time, and I still want to do that meditation. The law of polarity reminds us that there are no true opposites. Love and hate, they're on the same line. They might be on one end or the other, but they are both on the same line. So you move back and forth with a lot of that stuff too. And hate is one of those words that I never allowed in my home. I don't even like the word. I don't like the way it feels. But it's on opposite ends of the same line. So you have this line, and you can love or hate, but both can be felt equally strongly. And it's really a difficult thing sometimes. It's a balance in between the lines that we walk. So the law of polarity can really make us weigh the good and there I go with the judgment words, right? The good and the bad, the positive and the negative, the assets and the liabilities. And that's what the law of polarity helps us do, is to work out all of that stuff. Let's see. The law of rhythm. Everything has a rhythm. Everything has a cycle. And if we remember that everything cycles all the time. The moon cycles, right? We all cycle. Our bodies cycle. Male and female both cycle. Everything has a rhythm. Everything, the crops grow at a certain time of year. We harvest at a certain time of year. That rhythm is always in practice. It's always there. It's always in practice. The last one is called the law of gender. I prefer the law of balance. And it's really about balancing the energies within ourselves to come to a place of peace with ourselves. And we all have both male and female energy in us, regardless of how you identify or what your birth gender is. We all have both of those inside of us. And we just have to learn to balance and understand that, everything has its place. Everything has its place. The quieter side of things has its place, and the more outward side of things has its place. What we think of male and female characteristics, they all have their place, and one isn't better or worse than the other. And it's really about the balance of those things. Okay, I'm going to take a breath for do meditation. It's the meditation to link your mind and your heart. So if you all just want to sit back for a moment and just relax, I'm going to talk you through this and you can just enjoy it. Okay, Nikki, I love Nikki. She's so honest with herself. This is awesome. 100%. I have feminine traits, but usually operate more in the masculine, in my masculine energy is the way that she put it. And, corporate America has been running on masculine energy forever, and that's starting to balance out too. And I think that's a wonderful thing, to bring the balance of male and female energies into business. I think that's a fabulous thing. All right, so getting to our meditation. So sit back and relax and find a quiet place, or just, wherever you are, and sit back and breathe slowly and deliberately for 5 consecutive breaths. So, and you want to breathe as deep as you can comfortably breathe without causing yourself to cough or whatever. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. With every exhale, let your shoulders and your neck relax as you continue to breathe deeply but comfortably. And as you continue to breathe slowly, focus on your heart chakra. Focus to your heart center. And continue to focus on your heart center until you either feel it or get a visualization of it, get a picture of it in your mind. And once you have a focused sense of your heart, draw a line in your imagination from your heart straight up to your head. Just visualize a line drawing straight up to your head. And stay focused on that line you're imagining until your sense of it is strong, until maybe it looks like it glows, until it's a very strong sense of that line. And now connect the line, growing from your heart to your brain or to your mind, to your third eye chakra, to your crown chakra. Get those connected and focus your attention on the line from your heart connecting to your brain. When the connection is complete, hold the image or sense of the heart-mind connected in your consciousness. Just keep a visualization of that connection in your consciousness for as long as you can. Hold that idea while you're still consciously experiencing the heart-mind connection. Move your attention to your intended manifestation. What is it that you want to manifest with both your heart and your mind connected and working together? That's the balance of the male and the female energies working together to create what you want to create. And hold the idea of that manifestation in your consciousness for as long as you can. And then let it gently drift into the universe as you return your attention to your body. And you're feeling that breath moving into and gently out of your lungs, moving your attention back to your body. Feel how relaxed you are and how good it feels to have your sides balanced and your mind and your heart working together. And just focus on that manifestation coming back to you with ease and grace. And I'm going to leave you with that image and that feeling for the evening. Next week, my guest will be Larry Banning, who is an incredible healer out of Bellevue, Washington. And I hope that you will join me next week. Thank you. Have a great week, everyone.